What's up, you guys? So today I'm about to do a little story time about my Facebook date from fucking hell. Okay, so let's start here. Boom. Like, comment, and subscribe. If you have not, you missing out. But anyways, let's get into this tea. So anyways, I met this dude on that Facebook. Like, Facebook has like a little dating thing, right? And I don't know if you gotta, like, I don't remember if I did a profile or what have you. I don't remember. But sometimes I go in there and I look. I noticed that when I'm bored or when I'm like, when I'm bored, I do stupid stuff. I do risky, stupid stuff that just don't make no sense when I'm bored. And that shit be blowing me because I be getting myself in situations and circumstances that be not smart nor good. So, okay, anyways, boom. So, I meet this guy or whatever. We start talking on the phone or whatever. So, he like, we having a good time. We enjoying each other's conversation. And he like, what you doing today? And I was like, oh, I'm about to be at the beach. Like, I live in Southern California. So, LA is about 45 minutes from my house. And I was like, oh, I'm about to be at the beach. So, he's like, what beach you gonna be at? And I can't remember the name of the beach that I was at. But Manhattan Beach is like, it was like 10, 15 minutes away from the beach that I was at. And so he was like, oh, like when you done with your peoples or whatever, around this time, come meet me at Manhattan Beach. Cause you know, every weekend, I like to get a hotel on the beach and just relax and spend some quality time with myself. And I was like, but again, that's your business. So I was like, oh, okay. He was like, oh, you might want to come, back to the hotel and swim in with whatever. And I was like, no, I'm not. I was like, look, check this out. I'm keeping it real with you. I'm not going back to your hotel. I'm not fucking you. Like, ain't none of that happening. So, okay, boom. Excuse me. Anywho, the time comes around where I got to meet up with him. So I didn't eat anything because we was like, we're going to get dinner, be on the beach, have a good time. So I didn't eat with my peoples. I'm like, okay, I'm going to wait till I link up with him and eat. Right? So I left my peoples. And then I'm like, before I left my peoples, so I called him like, hey, where you at? What's going on? Blah, blah, blah. So he was like, oh, I'm caught in traffic. An accident happened. Like, give me a little bit more time. I said, no biggie. In LA, a 10-minute trip can take you an hour. So I'm like, okay, no problem. So I said a little bit longer. Then when he said to me at the new time he gave me, I started heading over there. And now I am bougie, sedity, high class, high maintenance, whatever. So the area that we was in was fly. Like fly, fly, fly. I'm all in the Rolex store. I'm all in the Rolex store. And I'm like, I'm waiting until, I'm shopping until he gets there. So then I'm like, okay, boom. I'm on the phone with him though, FaceTime. And I'm like, I'm not even tripping like that he's in traffic still or wherever he stopped at. I'm not even tripping because I'm shopping and I'm having a good time. Like, I like my time by myself and I like to shop. So I'm like, okay, it's all good. No biggie. So then he's like, well, while you there, put, find a restaurant, one of them restaurants that you want to eat at and put our name on the thing. Mind you, this is during COVID. So some restaurants was open, but not all of them. So the lady was like, for the restaurant that I seen that I liked, it was like an hour wait. So I'm shopping, talking to him on FaceTime and everything. Consciously, I didn't even realize that an hour had went by until they texted me and said my table was ready. And I finally, as I'm talking to him on FaceTime, like, where are you at? Because now they're saying our table is ready. And he was like, oh, I'm looking for a parking spot. So I went to the thing like, oh, okay, he's, my person is coming. He's looking for a parking spot. And they're like, oh, if he's not here in the next 10 minutes, like, we got to give you a table up. I'm like, okay, but he about to be here. So I was like, where you at? He said, I can't find a parking spot. So they was like, oh, okay, we gotta put your name back on your name back on the list, and it's another hour. And I was like, oh no, like that's a long time. Like I'm hungry. So he was like, just get in the car with me, because I had already paid for parking. So he was like, get in the car with me, and we'll find something to eat small until like our table is ready. Like after we put our name back on there. He was like, just let him put it back on there, and then we'll go find something to eat small in the area while we're waiting for our table, and then we'll talk, hang out. So, okay, boom. I get in the car with him, and we find like this little piece of parlor. Pay attention to the amounts that I'm about to give y'all. So, boom. This pizza parlor, right? I didn't want pizza. I wanted tacos. Let's start there. He wanted pizza. I didn't want pizza. I wanted tacos. So he's like, what do you want to eat from here? And I'm like, of course, I didn't want to eat here. So I'm like, can I just have a soda and I'll just get this little appetizer, wings. My total of just my food was $10. So here we go. He orders a big old pan of pizza that he ate, mind you, by himself. I didn't taste none of it, have none. I just have my wings and soda. So now here's red flag to me. Number one, I could tell when a nigga don't get, I don't want to say bitches. I could tell when he don't get women or he ain't really that nigga, because he was like, most women, I peep it, especially when I go on a date. When a man is out with a beautiful woman, bitches will try a nigga. They'll try a nigga. And me, I'm the type of woman, try him. Like, if he choosing, hey, he choosing. That's where I know where I stand. Now, he say something to you, and then that's also know where I stand. So I'll be like, I ignore it, and I see how you moving and how you do. So the waitresses, they trying to figure out why I'm over there kikiing, laughing. So they low-key like flirting, but I'm trying to see how he move with it. But he get uncomfortable. And I'm like, you could tell he's uncomfortable. And I'm like, why are you uncomfortable? And the nigga says, oh, I ain't never had that. Like, that's weird. And I said, what you mean? He was like, nah, like, he was like, the waitress is being weird. I was like, well, you with a beautiful woman? And I'm laughing and I'm having a good time. There's nobody else in this restaurant. It's just you and I. So they ain't got nothing else to do but find out why we laughing, join in on the conversation, have some fun, provide great customer service, all that. So I was like, red flag number one. You don't get women like that. All right, now, boom. I'm like looking at the time, like, don't you gotta check into your stuff? And then he was like, well, let's go. Like, he was like, well, let me go check in my hotel, and then we can go to Hollywood. And I'm thinking to myself, like, it's during COVID, so Hollywood ain't open like that. Like, it ain't open like that. Like, what you talking about? But he said he want to go, blah, blah, blah. Mind you, now we got to go pick up my car, and I'm following him. So here's the time frame. Where we were at Manhattan Beach to get to where he wanted to, where he claimed his hotel was by the LAX, right? But like we was somewhere in like the hood by LAX, and I was like, and now that I'm in LA a lot more now that it's open, I'm like, okay, we was over there in the ghetto of Inglewood, had to be. And so I'm talking to him on the phone because I'm like, I'm following him in my car because I got to park my car at the hotel so I can get in the car with him so we can go to Hollywood, right? So I'm looking at the whole time frame, and mind you, we're on FaceTime talking still, like as if we're sitting in the same car. So I'm following him, and then I park my car to figure out where he's gonna go. And mind you, the street had nothing but hotels and had nothing but motels on it. So I'm like, what area am I in? And I'm like, this is where this nigga is staying? Like, nah, you lying. And I refused to get out of my car. Like, I was like, bloop, bloop, lock both my doors. And he goes in to check into this hotel, but like nothing happened. Like, nothing happened. So he ends up like, they gave my room. Like, first he's like, they gave my room away. And And I was like, okay, that happens because, you know, you had to check in at a certain time. But then I watched the nigga go to like each hotel room up the street to see if they have a vacancy. And I guess they all told him that they didn't have no vacancy, right? And the whole time I'm sitting in my car, I'm on my phone, but I'm watching TV, like I'm on Instagram, I'm on Facebook. All this time is going by, and I finally realized, like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, why am I still sitting here? Like, this is crazy. But because I got so caught up and sitting in my car and all the stuff that I was doing, I didn't even realize it, right? So finally, I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Like it's getting late. I'm ready to go. And he's like, oh, you're mad because you're not with me. Like, oh, I'm sorry, babe. Like, give me hugs and kisses. Like, you missed me. Red flag number 2. So I was like, what? What are you talking about? Like, no, why the fuck am I sitting here? Why do you even have me in this area? Like, I wouldn't even stay in no shit like this. Like, I wouldn't even be in no area like this. Like, where do you have me? And he's like, well, damn, like, what area would you be at? And I was like, nigga, the West End, the Hilton, like, nigga, I'm a bougie bitch. Like, I would never, sorry, my camera is not focusing. I would never, like, be in no area like this. It would never happen. So finally, he goes to the West End and books his room, right? So he's like, are you going to come upstairs? And I was like, no. For what? Like, I told you, like, I wasn't going to no hotel with you and I wasn't fucking you. So what do I need to go up to the hotel for? So he's like, okay, well, park your car and let's go to Hollywood. I was like, all right. Mind you, okay, boom, here we go. He pays to park my car. It's $10 to park my car at the West End. So now my total is $20. Okay? So he's like, okay, we about to bust a move to Hollywood, right? So immediately I get in the car and he's like, oh, do you mind if, you know, I smoke and I drink some Hennessy, and do you mind if I smoke my weed while we driving? And I'm like, no. Even though I'm like, I do drink Hennessy, I'm a big Hennessy drinker, but I'm not a drinker like that anymore, and I'm not a smoker like that anymore. So I'm like, but if do what you do, like, that's on you. So he was like, oh, you don't want to smoke and drink with me? And I'm like, nah, I'm good. And the reason why I said that is because I don't, like, in my mind, I'm like, cause I don't know you. Like, so I need to be alert and coherent about everything. Like, I need to be paying attention. I don't need to be intoxicated to where I don't know what the fuck going on. So I'm like, no, I don't know you like that, cause to where I can be smoking your weed. I don't know if you laced the weed. I don't know if you put something in the Hennessy or what. So I don't want nothing that you got. So we driving towards Hollywood or whatever, and he was like, do you mind if I stop at my weed spot to give me some weed or whatever? And he was like, oh, you could add your phone to the Bluetooth or plug in your aux cord. No, I'm not, sir. Red flag number 3. I'm a player. No, I'm not, sir, because, you know, I don't know if a nigga gonna call my phone, text my phone, then put my shit on do not disturb, all that. Like, nah, I'm good. Then my contacts linked to your phone. Nah, I'm good. I'm not doing none of that. He go in, get his weed, come out. Now we busting a move towards Hollywood. Here's where I was done. Done. My family called me to verify that I was safe because they knew I was going on a date with somebody new. Right? And my aunt is FaceTiming me, and I decline her call. My mom has Android. She don't have iPhone. So my aunt is FaceTiming me because she has iPhone. I decline the call, and I text her like, hey, auntie, I'm out. I can't FaceTime you right now. This nigga loses his shit. Who the fuck that nigga texting you? Who the fuck that nigga over here while I'm out on a date on you? Let me talk to that nigga. He over here calling you while I'm out on a date on you. I'm like, nigga, what the fuck are you talking about? Nah, let me talk to that nigga. Let me talk to that nigga since he want to call you on dates and shit. Sir? So I ain't gonna lie, y'all. I pulled out my phone like this. I said, sir, see here, my aunt. And it literally said my aunt and her name. I said, that's my aunt. And I'm like, I'm not your bitch, sir. So now I have to, she was calling to make sure I was safe. Now I have to tell her I'm not safe. And I would appreciate you to take me back to my car. Like, it's cool. I'm done. That was it. That strike, whatever strike that is, I'm done. He was like, no, I'm just saying, how would you feel if my phone was ringing and Sir, I wouldn't give a fuck. I'm not your bitch. I wouldn't give a fuck if a bitch did call you, because I'm not your lady, so I wouldn't feel no type of way. And then I said again, that was my aunt, and now I even showed him, like, sir, I'm texting her, letting her know I'm not safe. Please take me back to my car. So he was like, you really want to go to your car? I was like, yes, take me back to my car. And then I was like, damn, like, if the nigga don't want to take me back to my car, I'm going to get out. But I literally had no clue where I was. Like, I was like, I had no clue. There was no street lights. I'm literally in the hood, and I have my Louis Vuitton bag, my Louis Vuitton keys, my expensive watches. Like, I literally I didn't feel like, okay, if you got out, because you know how women, we like to pop off, that you'll be safer outside. It was like, damn, I just literally spent the last 3-4 hours with your ass. So what's 30 to 45 minutes for you to get taken back to my car? Like, I'll be all right. I'm not about to get out here. And then by the time Uber or Lyft or a family member come and get me to take me back to a car, a lot could happen to me. I'm in this little short dress. Like, it's a lot going on. So I was like, nah, let me just chill out and let this man take me back to my car. So he's like, you really want to go out to the car? Yes, take me back to my car. So, fine, I'm going to take you back to my car. I'm going to take you back to the car. Nigga. You know how bitches, when they mad, they go over there in the corner and they like, so I literally was in the corner like that, but I was like paying attention to him because I'm like, he's smoking weed, he drinking. Like, I don't really know where I'm at. So I got to pay attention. Like, is this going back towards my car? Y'all, the nigga is in the car, blasting his music, rolling up his weed and sing. She in the car with a Compton nigga, cuz. Oh, shit, I'm literally like, take me back to my car. Like, hurry up. Like, I don't even feel we drove that far. Like, away from my car. Like, take me back to my car. I had shared shared my location with my family. Like, everything. And they're like, what's going on? And I'm like, he's taking me back to my car. They're like, do you even know where you're at? And I'm like, dang, I got family in Hollywood and I got family in downtown in LA, but I don't know. Like, I'm not tech savvy. I don't know how to drop the pin. I just barely figured out recently how to share my location, but I don't know how to drop the pin and all that kind of stuff. And I don't really know LA like that. So I'm like, man, this shit crazy. So then, boom. So he's taking me back to my car, but I end up having to pee. So I'm like, damn, I gotta be nice to ask this nigga because I'm about to pee myself. So he stopped somewhere where I could pee. And then, like, he's like, you still want me to take you back to the car? Yes, please, take me back to my car. Thank you for, taking me somewhere where I could use the restroom, but please take me back to my car. He like, all right, fine. While he's taking me back to my car, the nigga was like, so how long will it be before I get to meet the kids and all that kind of stuff? Because he had kids and I had kids. So I'm like, Nikki, don't jump off smart. Don't be disrespectful. Like, get back to your car as safely as possible and as quickly as possible. And I'm like, I don't, so I'm talking nice. Like, I don't allow men to meet my kids. Like, that's not what I do. And he's like, so how long it's going to take you to find you? You think about a second date. And I was like, I really don't ever want to go on a date with you ever again. And he was like, I said I was sorry. Like, I'm really sorry. Like, I'll just, I didn't even know. And I said, that's not the point. Like, that's okay. It's not the point. And then he was like, all the money I spent on you. And I was like, $20? Like, do you want this $20, sir? Like, you can have this. You can have this $20. Like, I'll give you your $20. Like, it ain't no problem. I'll give you this $20. And he was like, I spent more than $20. No, sir, you only spent $20 on me. You get in the hotel, like, you already said you was in the process of doing that. I never told you I was gonna stay in a hotel, but if you want this $20, you got this $20. He got me back to my car. Oh, I jumped out of that. I jumped out of this fucking car, ran to my car, bloop, bloop, drove off like, oh shit, I gotta get out of here. Deleted everything. Now, mind you, I also shared my location with my daughter. So my daughter was like texting me like, do I need to call my dad? Do I need to call my dad? And I was like, no. Woo. No, don't call your dad. Please. Please, 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 please. Please don't call your dad. Because this nigga is not hood crazy. This nigga was hood and probably mental crazy at the same time. And even though my ex-husband is crazy, yeah, I would never put like my ex-husband in no bullshit that I was on. Like, nah. Like, I don't call him for stuff like that. I call him when there's problems, you know, that involves his children. Not when it's, you know, unless I really have to, like a nigga stalking me and it affects our children, that's when he get called. Because he be wanting too much, like, he gonna be like, oh, I get family time. And I'm like, nigga, we're not a family. Well, we get to go do family stuff with the kids. No, I'm not doing all of that. It's not that serious. We exes. Long story short, so I ended up booking out of there, blocked that nigga on everything. And I was like, oh, Lord, see what happens when you do fucking stupid shit, crazy shit. And this was during COVID. I was like, you know, when you're stuck in the house and it's like, damn, I'm outside. Like, I ain't outside doing anything, but I'm outside. And I was like, oh, my God, like, take your ass back in the house. Like, take your ass back in the house. You almost died fucking playing. And craziest shit ever. Craziest shit ever. Like, I would never do no shit like that ever again. Never, ever. But, yeah. So, long story short, Facebook dating, don't do it. Don't do it, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it. I've done, that's another story time where I sneak